you're also spread out. Mindful of the space. Is that what it is? You're extending your being beyond the confines of your physical self. Evening, everybody. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see people coming back we haven't had for a while. Welcome back. This evening's topic is darkness. I thought it was particularly appropriate, given that we've got the gloom descending on us now. It's gone from being quite summery and bright, and then in the space of about 3 weeks, just the darkness has come. So I'm going to talk a bit about darkness, but I suppose we should start with one of our little mindful exercises, just to get us in the moment. So we shall start by closing our eyes and opening our ears and just listening. And begin by being aware of the sound very close at hand, maybe even the sound of your breath. And then just gradually extend the field of your hearing. And just accept the sound as it happens, moment by moment. Just allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be with sound. Good. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Nick, you can sit down. Grab a cushion. Okay, so darkness and the impending darkness that we have has an incredible ability to affect our mood. Does anybody here suffer with SAD? Sam, we've got one there. Anybody else feel gloomy when the gloom comes in? Or are we all quite upbeat and jovial about the prospect of fireworks and Christmas and Halloween and all the stuff that goes with it? So yes, it does affect people, affects their mood. But then there's darkness on a more metaphorical level. Anybody had experience of the feeling of darkness, the darkness within? Can anybody put that up? We've got 2 there. Yeah, I'll put my hand up to that. You know, anybody that's suffered with stress or anxiety, or maybe that's extended to full-blown depression, would probably allude to a darkness, a feeling of darkness within, or a gloom. What is that darkness? Well, because this is mindfulness group, we should put it into a mindful perspective. And as we know, a lot of stress and anxiety, a lot of darkness comes from worrying about the past, worrying about the future. So, in terms of the past, darkness could be feelings of regret, feelings of guilt for things that have happened in the past, regret for things that didn't happen in the past. The darkness that overwhelms people about the future may be uncertainty, maybe fear of the unknown in the darkness. And that's what it is, isn't it? That's what's scary and frightening about the dark. The unknown, the not knowing, the not being able to see where we are. Okay, so before I talk about darkness, or maybe talk about light a little more, let's practice another little mindful exercise. And I thought it might be interesting to impose a little darkness on ourselves. Now, is anybody petrified of the dark? Yes, I can see it. I was aware that I'm really not going to be, but it's not an exercise that should be hugely comfortable. Well, then we won't go for total darkness. We won't go for total darkness. But
why don't you get that?
but from a mindful context, people practice mindfulness. People turn to mindfulness because they want to find a way to cope with, to deal with the things that are uncomfortable, the things that are frightening, the things that are undesired, that are affecting them within their life, the things that are frightening. And there's probably not much, well, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are more frightening than being sat in a dark church, but, I've been in here on my own and turned the lights off, and it's a bit spooky, so we'll try it. If anything, and I'll say it to the back, so if anybody doesn't like it, just shout out and we'll turn the lights back on. Okay, you alright? So as we sit now in the dark and experience this present moment, just turn your awareness now to your body. Keep your eyes open. You just sat a minute ago with your eyes closed. You sat in the dark already. And now it's enforced. But just sit and be aware of the weight of your body in the chair. Aware of your head resting on top of your shoulders. Aware of gravity affecting your arms. This is going to make a great video for people to watch on YouTube, isn't it? It's like sitting in the dark.
There we go.
Aware of the weight of your body, your bottom pressing down through the seat. Aware of your feet in contact with the floor. Aware of the clothes on your skin. Become aware of the movement of air on your hands and on your face. And now as you sit, aware of your physical presence, you can look around and be aware of how things have changed. Now your eyes have adjusted slightly. Be aware of the shadows, the flickering lights. Become aware of how you really feel. How you really feel about sitting in the dark in a church. And I resisted the urge to make spooky noises or tickle people from behind, blow in their ear. No, not cool. How did you find that? Was it as frightening as we first thought it might be? Some of us?
It was really nice, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite peaceful, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of lights, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. When it's all off, when your eyes have adjusted.
It's actually harder to do that exercise, though. It's easy for me personally to close my eyes, so you've not got visual stimulation. So it just looked amazing. I never forget, I feel my weight in my body. That was
Good, but good. So actually, it was a good way to get into the moment because it was a different moment. Yes, and so that beautifully illustrates the point that I wanted to make. So bringing this to mindfulness, the talking about the darkness that people feel when they're struggling to cope with the challenges in their life or the things that are happening within their present moment. And mindfulness is the light that illuminates the darkness. So when you do feel that darkness because you're anxious about the future or regretting and guilty about the past, practicing mindfulness then provides the illumination and provides the light that enables you to feel at peace. So there, in that exercise that we just did, there's the prospect of sitting in the dark in a church, scary environment, rain outside, possibly frightening, but actually, we all experienced it together, we were mindful, and quite literally, it was lighter than we thought it would be. But also,
as well, quite relaxing.
quite
I was quite
relaxing.
surprised.
That's
As you
it.
were talking, I don't know if the light was really quiet.
I did give you a few moments of silence.
Yeah.
But yes, I suppose there is that. But yes, mindfulness is the light that illuminates the present moment and illuminates the darkness. How does it do that? How does it illuminate? Well, for one, it allows us to accept the past. When we're in the present moment, we accept that the past is gone. And then in terms of the future, it prepares us for that uncertainty. It prepares us for the uncertainty of the future because by allowing us to accept the now. Because we accept what's happening in the present moment, and if we can accept what's happening now, then we can accept whatever comes in the present moments that are to follow. And so it prepares us for that uncertainty. I didn't know this. Yeah. Impressive.
You actually use it.
I am. I'm looking. That's why I'm wondering if it's about actually reading the notes and following.
Game of Thrones, they say the darkness allows the shadows highlight the light. So the darkness highlights the light.
Right.
Allows the light to shine through.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. When I was at school and I did my A-level arts, I remember there was a particular exercise that we used to do. And when you draw, normally, obviously, you have a white piece of paper and you have a dark pencil or charcoal or paint, and you would put dark onto white paper. Or my art teacher would do one where we'd have a black piece of paper and he'd give you chalk. And you didn't draw the shadows, you didn't draw the dark lines, you drew the light. So it made you think about things the opposite way around. Maybe that's what mindfulness does. Allows you to see the light and draw the light. Focus on that. Because I think human beings have a propensity for focusing on the darkness. They're drawn towards the darkness. And we feel that, as we would do if we were drawing, we draw our life by focusing on the dark lines rather than necessarily the light. That's why Michelangelo was so clever, and Leonardo. If you look at their big charcoal drawings, it's the highlights, the thing called chiaroscuro, the highlights and the contrast between the shadows and the light. Okay, let's do another little exercise before I talk a bit more about some stuff that I've been reading, which is quite good. Okay. Which one should we do? See, I didn't write this bit down. I'm making it up now.
It's in the moment, that's good.
Well, of course. It's always in the moment. Let's do a bit of breathing. So I'd like you to become aware of the breath at the nostrils. And just follow the breath in and out. As each individual breath happens, in through the nose and out through the nose. And then follow it back and be aware of the breath at the back of the throat, behind the soft palate. Now be aware of the breath at the top of the chest. And follow the movement in and out, up and down, as you breathe in and then breathe out. Now be aware of the breath down at the diaphragm. Feel the movement there. And so that you can really be aware of the breath, the next time you breathe out, I'd like to exhale completely. So breathe out all the air that's in your lungs until they're empty. Push the diaphragm right up. And then breathe in, feel them fully inflating. And do that for the next few breaths. Breathe out completely, expel all of that bad air. So you really become aware of the complete movement and the complete cycle. Generally, we breathe at a very shallow level, generally, so we can often have air stagnating, base volumes. Just push it all out. Good. Good. Okay. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And probably as you're breathing and you're aware of your breath, quite often you will feel it slowing down. You'll feel it becoming more relaxed and measured. It slows down. And that's one of the things that often goes with mindfulness, is a slowing down. Being in the moment and allowing yourself to approach things more slowly, so that you can engage in them, so that you can engage and be aware of them and engage in them mindfully. You have to approach it a little slower. Because there's no need to rush towards the future. You don't have to rush into the future. It's going to happen. It's going to happen at its own pace. We can't speed it up, or we can't slow it down. When we're a child, we desperately want to be bigger. We want to grow up. When we're 9, we can't wait to be 10. When we're 10, we can't wait to be 11. And then we can't wait to be 16 or 18 so we can buy fags and booze and all that kind of stuff. We're desperate to rush into the future. And then as we get older, and we long to be able to go back to when we were young and youthful, and our bones didn't ache, and we didn't have grey hair, we feel as if the future is rushing upon us uncontrollably. But actually, if you do just allow yourself to slow down and not rush into the future and be mindful, that disappears, evaporates. And so, with that in mind, approaching tasks, approaching the things that we feel are day-to-day drudgery, whether it's ironing or, the stuff that we do, making packed lunches for kids, commuting to work, vacuuming. Approach those things mindfully. Don't rush. Take your time. And I've been reading a Thich Nhat Hanh book, and he talks about doing the activities for the sake of doing them. And the example he uses is washing the dishes, which is the one that I've used myself. So it must be right if both myself and Thich Nhat Hanh use it as an example, as an illustration. And he says, don't wash the dishes to make the dishes clean. Don't go into it and think, I'm making the dishes clean. Wash the dishes to wash the dishes, to perform the act of washing the dishes. The fact that they will be clean is the side effect. And I've talked about side effects before. Don't focus on the result. Don't focus on the end result. That happens by itself. Particularly if you perform the action simply to perform the action. Now, if you wash the dishes mindfully, you've probably all got dishwashers, you'll tell me now, and you say, oh, I don't wash up, I've got a dishwasher, I don't have to. But, no.
I've got no idea with the dishes, so I'm really interested.
Right, okay, good. That's it. But if you don't wash the dishes mindfully, if you rush into the future, if your aim is just to get the thing done so that the dishes are clean, chances are you'll pick that glass up off the draining board and it'll be covered in smears and it'll have that horrid thing on it that happens when you don't wash up properly. The plates, you still have baked bean juice on the side. But if you wash the dishes, not to make them clean, but to be with the act of washing the dishes, then they'll be clean. And we don't have to worry about that. That's the side effect. And it's the same with everything. If you approach them mindfully and allow yourself to be in the moment and to do the thing simply just to do it, then you'll be practicing mindfulness all the time. And one of the things Thich Nhat Hanh recommends in his book is that you start by dedicating a day. He says, you start, say, oh, 1 day a week is my mindful day. And it's a nice idea. I think it's difficult. I know, obviously the aim is to spend 24/7, 24 hours of your time, 7 days a week, mindful, constant mindful. And that's hard. But to do a day is hard. Which is why I always like to encourage people to just dip in regularly. And when you're doing those tasks, when you're washing the dishes, when you're in the shower, when you're driving the car, when you're walking to the shop, do those activities purely for the sake of being there and involved in that activity, not thinking about the result. Because then you're practicing all the time, little bits and pieces.
As my mother used to say, do the thing that's in front of you.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Do the thing that's in front of you, in this moment. Exactly. See, you've just summed it all up. That whole waffling that I've just done for the last 10 minutes, you've summed up beautifully.
It doesn't matter how many millions of things you've got to do the one that's in front of you.
Exactly right. And especially if you're a man like me. Because we can only do the one thing. It's overrated. It's overrated. No, it's overrated. Believe me. Okay. I'm going to invite the bowl to sound. That's what we say now. This was what came up last week. We were talking about invitations last week. Because I've been reading about the singing bowls. And we don't strike the bowl. We don't hit the bowl. That's not showing respect to the bowl, is it? No. We invite the bowl to sound. So I would invite you all to close your eyes and turn your awareness to your breath and begin to count your breath. So as you breathe in, count 1, breathe out, count 1. Breathe in and count 2, and breathe out, count 2. In 3, out 3, and so on, till you get to 10, and then start again at 1. If you lose count, that doesn't matter, that's fine. Just go back and start at 1. And just for the next few moments, just breathe and count the breaths in and out as each one happens. Begin to become aware of the pause between breaths. Maybe become aware of the light that seems to exist in that pause. It may seem like a strange thing to say, but as you become aware of the pause between breaths, you can become aware of a lightness that seems to emanate from that pause. I invite you to breathe in and feel alive. Feel the aliveness in your being as you breathe in. Breathe out and smile. Breathe in and feel alive. Breathe out and smile. And then relax into the pause between breaths. And feel the lightness. If your mind wanders, that's fine. Just be aware that it's wandered. Bring your awareness back to that breath. Breathing in and feeling alive. Breathing out and smiling at life. And then relaxing into the pause. Feeling the light within that pause. When you're ready, you may open your eyes and prepare yourself to venture boldly into the darkness.